How to build Keystone habits. Imagine waking up every morning feeling refreshed, motivated, and ready to tackle the day. Sounds impossible. But what if you could make it a reality by creating just one small habit? For Sarah, a busy marketing executive, it was a Keystone habit that changed everything. She'd always struggled to find time for exercise, but one day she decided to start by committing to a 10-minute morning walk. It wasn't about running marathons or achieving any grand fitness goal. It was simply about taking a short walk each day. That small habit had a massive impact on Sarah's life, and it's an impact she's still experiencing today. The concept of Keystone habits is quite simple, yet incredibly powerful. These are small, everyday actions that have a multiplier effect on our lives. By building these habits, we can create a chain reaction of positive change. Keystone habits are like the keystone stone in an arch. They hold everything together and keep the structure stable. They're the foundation upon which we build our daily routines, and they have a profound impact on our productivity, motivation, and overall happiness. But here's the thing. Keystone habits aren't just about achieving some grand outcome. They're about focusing on the process, not the outcome. This means breaking down large goals into smaller, achievable steps. For Sarah, her 10-minute morning walk wasn't just about burning calories or improving her physical health. It was about starting her day on a positive note. It was about feeling more energized and focused, which in turn allowed her to tackle her busy marketing schedule with confidence. As Sarah continued to build her habit, she started to notice a ripple effect in other areas of her life. She was sleeping better, eating healthier, and even finding more time for socializing with friends and family. Her Keystone habit had created a multiplier effect, leading to more motivation, energy, and happiness. This is precisely what happens when we focus on the process, not the outcome. By making small, incremental changes, we create a momentum that propels us forward, leading to remarkable results. One of the most significant benefits of Keystone habits is their ability to help us build resilience. When we focus on the process, we're no longer fixated on achieving some end goal. Instead, we're focused on the daily actions that move us closer to that goal. This mindset shift allows us to bounce back from setbacks and failures because we're not invested in a particular outcome. We're invested in the process, and that's what truly matters. For instance, let's say you're trying to learn a new language. Instead of focusing on speaking fluently or passing a language proficiency test, focus on practicing the language for just 10 minutes each day. That's a Keystone habit in action. A small, everyday action that has a massive impact on your language skills. By focusing on the process, you'll make steady progress, and before you know it, you'll be speaking with confidence and fluency. So, how can you create your own Keystone habit? Start by identifying a small, achievable goal that you can commit to each day. It could be as simple as drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up, or taking a few minutes each morning to meditate. The key is to focus on the process, not the outcome. Break down your goal into smaller, manageable steps, and commit to taking those steps each day. As you build your habit, you'll start to notice a ripple effect in other areas of your life, and you'll be amazed at the positive change that unfolds. As we continue our journey, we'll explore more strategies for building Keystone habits and creating a life of purpose, motivation, and happiness. But for now, take a moment to reflect on your own life. What Keystone habits could you create today to propel you forward? What small, everyday actions could you commit to that would have a massive impact on your life? The answer is likely closer than you think, and it's just a matter of taking that first step. You've started building your Keystone habit, but what happens when you encounter obstacles? Don't worry, it's normal. Every Keystone habit journey has its twists and turns. I've been there myself, and I've got a solution for you. The biggest obstacle to building Keystone habits is our own minds. Fear, procrastination, and self-doubt can hold us back, making us question whether we're good enough, or if the habit is worth the effort. But here's the thing. Our minds are wired to resist change, and Keystone habits require a level of commitment that can feel daunting at first. Take Sarah, for instance. She had been trying to establish a consistent exercise routine for months, but every time she hit a bump in the road, she'd get discouraged and give up. She'd tell herself, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm too busy." But one day, she realized that she was letting her own self-doubt hold her back. She decided to reframe her mindset and focus on progress, not perfection. By the way, did you know that the word procrastination comes from the Latin words pro and crestinus, meaning put off until tomorrow. It's no wonder we get stuck in this cycle, constantly delaying our goals and putting them off until later. But the truth is, the only way to overcome procrastination is to take action, no matter how small. So, how do you overcome obstacles and stay consistent? The power of accountability is crucial in building Keystone habits. Share your goals with a friend or family member and ask them to hold you accountable. This can be as simple as sending them a weekly update or checking in with them every few days. Having someone to report to can make a huge difference in your motivation and commitment to your Keystone habit. I remember when I was trying to establish a writing routine. I joined a writing group with a friend who was also working on a book. We'd meet every week to share our progress and provide feedback on each other's work. It was amazing how having someone to hold me accountable helped me stay on track and push through the tough days. But accountability is not just about having someone to report to. It's also about recognizing and celebrating your small wins. Celebrate every milestone, no matter how insignificant it may seem. This will help you stay motivated and encouraged to continue building your Keystone habit. For Sarah, it was as simple as rewarding herself with a favorite meal after completing a week of consistent exercise. It may not seem like much, but it was enough to keep her going. And that's the thing about Keystone habits. They're not just about achieving a specific goal. They're about creating a lifestyle of consistency and momentum. By celebrating small wins and staying accountable, you'll be able to overcome obstacles and stay on track, even when the going gets tough. So, keep pushing forward, and remember that every small step counts. As Sarah continued to build her Keystone habit, she began to notice a profound shift in her mindset and behavior. She had created a routine that was so ingrained that it felt like a part of her being. But how did she sustain this momentum? The answer, she discovered, lay in creating a habit loop. A habit loop consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. For Sarah, her cue was the sound of her alarm blaring in the morning, signaling the start of her day. Her routine was a 30-minute meditation session, followed by a refreshing cup of coffee, and her reward was a sense of calm and focus that came with it. As she continued to practice this habit loop, Sarah realized that tracking her progress was crucial to sustaining momentum. She started using a habit tracker to monitor her daily routine, and it helped her identify patterns and areas where she needed to improve. With each passing day, she felt a sense of accomplishment and pride in her ability to stick to her habits. But, as with any journey, setbacks were inevitable. Sarah had days where she felt too tired to meditate or skipped her coffee routine altogether. However, instead of beating herself up over it, she chose to be patient and kind to herself. She recognized that building Keystone habits takes time, and it's normal to experience setbacks along the way. Now, you might be wondering how to apply this knowledge to your own life. The key is to identify your cue. Create a routine and reward yourself for sticking to it. Use a habit tracker or journal to monitor your progress and make adjustments as needed. And most importantly, be patient and kind to yourself throughout the journey. As you continue to build your Keystone habits, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. Celebrate your progress, stay consistent, and enjoy the ripple effect of positive change in your life. And if you're struggling to get started, share your Keystone habit with me in the comments below, and let's hold each other accountable. As Sarah continued to build her Keystone habit, she began to notice a profound shift in her mindset and behavior. She had created a routine that was so ingrained that it felt like a part of her being. But what was the key to sustaining this momentum? The answer, she discovered, lay in the power of small wins. At first, it seemed like a trivial thing, celebrating small victories along the way. But for Sarah, it was the difference between a habit that would stick and one that would fizzle out. Every morning, she would wake up and write down 3 things she was grateful for. It was a simple habit, but it had a profound impact on her mood and motivation. As she continued to build on this habit, Sarah started to notice that her relationships with others began to change. She was more present, more engaged, and more patient. It was as if the Keystone habit had unlocked a door to a new level of emotional intelligence, and it was all because of the power of small wins. Now, you might be thinking, but what about when I miss a day or two? Does it all fall apart? The good news is, it's not a failure. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. Sarah had her own share of setbacks, but she never gave up. And that's the key to sustaining momentum. Not being perfect, but being consistent.